Robin, jolly Robin, tell me how my lady does. My lady is unkind, perdie. Alas, why is she so? She loves another.
If music be the flute of love, play on. You make excess of it, but surfeiting, the appetite may sicken, and so die. Let's drink again. That dying fall. Oh, it came o'er my ear like a sweet sound, breathed upon a bank of violets, stealing, giving odor. Enough, no more. It's not so sweet now as it was before. Oh, spirit of love, how quick and fresh art thou, that notwithstanding receivest like a casket of the sea, naught enters there. What validity and pitch soe'er, but falls into abatement and low price, even in a minute. So full of shapes is fancy that it alone is high and accessible.
Will you go hunt, my lord?
What, Curio?
The hart.
My sword, the noblest I have. But mine eyes did see Olivia first, and thought she purged the air of pestilence. That instant was I turned into a heart, and my desires like a fell and cruel countess has pursued me. How now? What news from her?
So please, my lord, I might not be admitted, but from her handmaid to return this answer. The element itself, to 7 years each, shall not behold the face of Angel's view. But, like the cloisters, she will veil the wall, and water once a day the chamber round, with eye of fence and brine. All this to season the brother's dead love, which she would keep fresh and lasting in her sad remembrance.
Oh, she hath the heart of that fine frame to pay this debt of love to a brother. How will she love when the rich golden shaft killed the flock of all affections else in her? When liver, brain, and heart, these sovereign thrones are all supplied and filled to sweet perfection, with one self-king. Away before me to sweet beds of flowers. Love falls thy rich when canopy with flowers.
What country, friends, is this?
This is Illyria, lady.
What should I do in Illyria? My brother, he is in Elysium. Perchance he's not drowned. What think you, sailors?
It is perchance that you yourself were saved.
Oh, my poor brother. And so perchance may he be.
True, madame. In the comfort you would chance. Assure yourself now, I won't. After our ship did split when you and those poor and unsafe you hung upon our driving boat, I saw your brother, most prominent in peril, find himself, courage and hope, both teaching him to practice, to a strong mast that lay upon the sea, where, like Aaron on the dolphin's back, I saw him on the latest wave, so on the sight sea.
For saying so, there's gold. Mine own escape unfolds the hope, whereto thy speech serve authority for the like of him. Knowest thou this country?
I'm well, was bred and born, not 3 hours travel from this very place.
Who governs here?
A noble duke, in nature, as your name.
What is his name?
Orsino.
Orsino. I've heard my father name him. He was a bachelor then.
And so is now, or was so very late. For about a month ago I went from hence, and then 'twas fresh and mummer. As you know, what great ones do, little proud of, that gets the love of their living.
What's she?
A virtuous maid, a daughter of accounts, that died some 12 months since, leaving her in protection of the son, her brother, that also surely died, for whose love they say hath enjoyed her the company and sight of men.
Oh, that I served that lady, and might not yet be delivered to the world till I'd made my own occasion mellow in my estate.
That were hardness, but she'll admit no kind of suit. No, not to this.
There is a fair behavior in thee, Captain. And though this nature with a beauteous walled off clothes and pollution, yet of thee I will believe thou hast a mind that suits this thy fair and outward character. I prithee, and I'll pay thee bounteously. Conceal me what I am and be my aid, for such disguise haply shall become the form of my intent. All time I will commit. Only sheep thou thy silence to my wit.
Be you his eunuch, and your mute I'll be. When my tongue blares, let thine eyes not see.
I think thee. Lead me on.
What a plague makes my niece by taking it that her brother thus? I am sure there's an enemy to life.
By my troth, Sir Toby, you must come in earlier nights. Your cousin, my lady, takes great exception to your ill hours.
Why, let her accept before accepted.
Aye, but you must confine yourself within the modest limits of order.
Confine? I'll confine myself no finer than I am. These clothes are good enough to drink in, and so be these boots too. And they do not let them hang themselves in their own straps.
All that quaffing and drinking will undo you. I heard my lady talk about yesterday, and the foolish knight you brought him here to be her wooer.
Who, Sir Andrew Agucheek?
Aye, he.
He's as tall a man as any's in Illyria.
What's that to the purpose?
Why, he has 3,000 ducats a year.
Aye, but to have but a year in these ducats is a very fool and a prodigal.
Fine, I should say so. He plays on the viol de gamboys, and speaks 3 or 4 languages word for word without a book, and hath all the good gifts of nature.
He hath indeed. Almost natural. For besides that he's a fool, he's a great quarreler. And that he hath the gift of a coward to a lady that's not quarreling. 'Tis left among the prudent he would quickly have the gift of the grave.
By this hand, they are scoundrels and subtractors that say so of him. Who are they?
They that add, moreover, you struck nicely in your company.
With drinking healths to my niece. I'll drink to her as long as there is passage in my throat and drink in Illyria. He is a coward and a coistrel who will not drink to my niece till his brains turn as a toe like a parish top. What, wench? Cuss your own, for here comes Sir Andrew Hoggyface.
Sir Toby Belch, how now, Sir Toby Belch?
Sweet Sir Andrew!
Bless you, fair true.
And you too, sir.
Accost, Sir Andrew, accost!
What's that?
My niece's chambermaid.
Good mistress accost, I desire better acquaintance.
My name is Mary, sir.
Good mistress Mary accost.
You mistake, knight. Accost is front her, or woo her, assail her.
By my troth, I would not undertake with this company. Set the meaning of accost.
Fare you well, gentlemen.
And I'll let part so, Sir Andrew, would thou mightst never draw sword again.
And you put so mistress, and would I never draw sword again? Fair lady, do you think you have bulls in hand?
Sir, I have you not by the hand.
Mary, but you shall have. And here's my hand.
Now, sir, thought is free. I pray you, bring your hands to the buttery bar and let it drink.
Wherefore, sweetheart? What's your metaphor?
It's dry, sir.
Why, I think so. I am not such an ass, but I can keep my hand dry. But what's your jest?
A dry jest, sir.
Are you full of them?
I have them at my fingers' ends. Marry now, and let's go your hand. I am married.
Oh, knight, thou likest a cup of canary. When did I see thee so put down?
Never in your life, I think, unless you see canary put me down. Methinks sometimes I am no more wit than a Christian or an ordinary man has. But I am a great eater of beef, and I think that does harm to my wit.
No question.
I thought that, I forswear it. I'll ride home tomorrow, Sir Toby.
Pourquoi, my dear knight?
What is pourquoi? Do or not do? I would I had bestowed the time in the tongues I had in fencing, dancing, and bear baiting. Oh, had I but followed the arts.
Then hast thou had excellent head of hair.
Why, would that have mended my hair?
Past question, for thou seest it will not curl by nature.
But it becomes you well enough, does it not?
Excellent! excellent! It hangs like flax on a distaff. I hope to see a housewife take the eternal lace and spin it off!
Babe, along the mile, Sir Toby. Your niece will not be seen, and if it be, 4 to 1 she'll none of me. Count to your heart I lose her.
She'll none of the count. She'll not match above her degree, neither in estate, year, nor wit. I have heard her swear it. Tut, there's life in it, man!
I'll stay a month longer. I'm a fellow of the strangest mind in the world. I delight in mosques and revels, sometimes all together.
Art thou good to these kickshaws this night?
There's any man in Illyria. Whatsoever if you enter the degree of my betters. And yet I will not compare with the old man.
What is thy excellence in a galley at night?
Faith, I could cut a caper.
And I can cut the button to it.
And I think I have the back trick simply as strong as any man in Illyria.
Wherefore are these things hid? Wherefore have these things occurred before? Are they like to take dust, like Mr. Small's picture? Why does thou not go to church? And come home in a caranto? My very work should be a jig. I would not make water, but in a sea. What meanest thou? Is this a world to hide virtues in? I did think, by the excellent constitution of thy lady, that it was formed under the star of a galleon.
Aye, 'tis strong, and it does a different well when it's done until it's stopped. Shall we set about some revels?
What shall we do else? Were we not born under Taurus?
Taurus, that's sides and heart.
No, sir. It's legs and thighs. Let me see the caper. Ha! Ha! Excellent!
If the Duke continues these favors towards you, Cesario, you are like to be much advanced. He hath known you but 3 days, and already you are no stranger.
You either fear his humor or my negligence that you call into question the continuance of his love. Is he inconstant, sir, in his favor?
No, believe me.
I thank thee. Here comes the count.
Who saw Cesario?
On your attendance, your lordship. Here.
Standing to what? Cesario, thou knowest no less than all. I have unclasped thee the book, even unto my secret soul. Therefore, good youth, address thy gate unto her. Stand in her door, and tell them, there thy fixed foot shall go till thou have partners.
Sure, my noble lord. But if she be so abandoned to her sorrow as spoke, she will never admit me.
Be clamorous, and leap all civil bounds, rather than make unprofited return.
Say I do speak with her, my lord. What then?
And unfold to her passion of my love. Surprise her with discourse of my dear faith. It shall become thee well to act my words. She'll attend it better in thy youth than in an nuncio of more grave aspect.
I think not so, my lord.
You'll not believe it, for they shall yet belie thy happiness that say thou art a man. Thine lip is not less smooth and rubious. Thy small pipe is as the maiden's organ, shrill and sound, and all is semblative of woman's fire. I know thy consolation is right back to despair. Some 4 or 5 10, all of you will for. I am best in this company. Prosper well in this, and thou shalt live as freely as thy lord to call his fortunes thine.
I'll do my best to woo your lady. Yet a bird will strike. Ere I do,